All right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. I don't know how much, if these fines will, or if these charges will result in any jail time. I seriously doubt it. They have a Netflix special that's been out for quite some time, a couple of years, called Skywalkers. Becca Shea says, isn't there security at these places? How are they? I think they planned it out to be able to have a right idea of when the right people weren't in the right place. Picked a lock, got through a door that they shouldn't have, and the next thing you know, they're on top of the Empire State Building. Incredible. So that's that. All right, let's move on. Heat at a minor league ballpark. It's like 100 degrees out. They're doing the national anthem. And they do the deal where they bring out the kids to stand next to their favorite ball player. And kid here in the middle, he gets a little woozy during the anthem, and he faints. And this player here saves the day. Let's check it out. I don't hear anything. I don't think we're supposed to. I don't think there's any sound to it. But you see the kid, he's like passes out. And, oh, look, this player, he's like, oh, God, what's going on here? During the anthem. And then he scoops the kid up, and he goes running off the field because the kid is fucked up, you know? And then Jenkins here gives the kid to the trainer and takes him to Epstein Island. I probably not, but anyway, takes him down the thing, and Jenkins is he can't believe it here. He plays for the Saints or whatever the fuck. He makes that same face when they tell him he's going to be in the minors for his entire life. Jesus. Yeah, if you're the mom and dad of that kid, you're like, man, we got to give our kids more water, make sure that they're taken care of. Red Bull Brain Chris says, don't lock your knees, kid. Yeah, I think it was more than that. I think he was, overcome by heat. All right. We have an update on probably in the running for worst story of the year. And it happened right here in our community. The Electric Forest Music Festival. Word came down that there was a dead baby in the toilet in the Porta-John. And by the way, I have an unnamed source who reached out to me and says, so-and-so, a relative of this person who wrote this in, got a new job. So-and-so works for a company that I don't want to say. And that is the Porta Potty company that found the baby. It was an independent company that contracts to help pump out the toilets because of the number of portable toilets that they needed for the event. This person's relative was not the one who pumped out the toilet that had the baby. I just cannot believe this. And the questions that have been asked have been, how did this unfold? Was the child born deceased? Was the child alive? Did a murder occur? I mean, what is going on here? And police have now learned a bit of information that is, I think, makes this quite a bit worse.
Wood TV 8, this is a breaking news alert.
Breaking news as we come
On the air, sources have confirmed to News 8 that the baby found dead inside a porta potty at Electric Forest was born alive.
They also confirmed an autopsy determined the full-term infant was breathing at birth. Michigan State Police have not yet provided details regarding the cause of death, but sources tell News 8 that fluid was found in the baby's lungs and stomach. That means it was not a stillbirth.
A cleaning crew for the portable toilet vendor discovered the infant inside the porta potty Sunday morning, with placenta and umbilical cord present. If you know anything about the child's death, you should contact state police.
Okay, now there had to be somebody who saw something when whatever person walked out of the porta-john. You had to have seen something, even smelled something. I don't know, maybe it was late at night, but Electric Forest, there's activity going on all the time. Okay? I think there was an incident where somebody else took their life, too. And I think there's been a lot of weirdo shit that has taken place at Electric Forest. And that happens anytime you get a bunch of people in one place. I don't want to be guy that says that EDM music, the people who like EDM music are just, all they want to do is kill their babies and kill themselves. I don't want to be that guy that does that. I don't want to paint with a broad stroke here. In fact, Madison and Ash, they would have been there, you know. Hell, if Madison, she would have dove in the toilet to get the baby. I mean, who wouldn't have? Let me ask you this. If you're at the toilet, okay, and you look in there and there's a baby there, and the baby is moving and it's crying. It's a fucking baby. Are you diving right in the shit, in the piss to get the baby? John says, without hesitation. Megan says, yes, I would. And I believe that. I would too. I don't think there's anybody that would do that or wouldn't do that. You would go in there. Nick says 67,000 people in a city that big, you're going to have a dead baby and a suicide within a week. What? Alan says he'd save the baby. I think Stevie's the only one who's probably afraid to weigh in here. I don't know if Stevie would. I can't speak for. I would like to think that she would, but she's made it very clear about how she is not. She wants all babies to be unalived. Cole with a horrible comment and says maybe it's Maitland's or Mrs. Cheese's. No, they would never let a baby get to full term. Megan says, if Stevie wouldn't, I think she'd get someone else. Hey, there's a baby in here. I'm not going to save it, but you can. Rebecca says, I don't know if I would, but I'd get EMS there. Stevie says, I'm feeling the pressure. No, don't you feel the pressure. You plant your flag. All right? Everybody knows that when you heard the news of this, you started to play Kool and the Gang, Celebrate. Linda says, I'd get a cat or a dog out. Yeah, I think we all would too. I think cat, yes. Dog, yes. Baby for sure. What about wild animal? Possum, raccoon. I think that might qualify. I don't know if I go into possum, raccoon. Maybe, okay. Baby possum, baby raccoon, yes. Adult possum, maybe. Adult raccoon, no way. Black Belt Nick says, I don't know if I could get over my germ phobia to do it myself. Yeah, I know. But look, you got to understand, I eat ass. It's no big deal. Whatever's in that toilet, I've eaten. Mateo says, any living thing. I guess. I just got to be careful on some of those. Rebecca says, that's where I'm stuck. It's the germ factor. You're not going to die. Come on now. You're exposed to worse things at the gym. Nick says, fuck no, I ain't even grabbing a clean raccoon, let alone a shitty one. I tried to resuscitate a toad yesterday that wound up in the skimmer in the pool. And I've had success doing that, but this one was stiff. But I've had success with a stiff toad, flipping him on his back and then just kind of tap him on the chest. And then I've seen it happen. They take a big breath and then it's CPR. But this one did not survive. Chris says, it's not that bad. I haven't died yet, and I've unwillingly took a lot of shit baths. John Midgley is here. He's smarter than most. He says, for all my fellow germaphobes, every glass of water that you've ever drank almost certainly contains molecules that have been someone else's pee. You're welcome. Yeah, it's fine. You just don't think about it. Becca Shea says it builds up your immunity. I'll have to take your word for it. I don't know. Well, anyway, so what do you do now? Let's just say, for the sake of this discussion, and they will find out who this is, who did it. They actually will find out. What are we talking about here? Probably a young person. Let's just think about this. Young, probably scared. And there's got to be some grace in this, right? With a person who does something as horrific as this. And I think that if that person who by now knows that this is being looked at and people are trying to find out who did it, you have to have tremendous guilt. And if you don't have tremendous guilt, well then fuck you. But I will just assume that this person has tremendous guilt. And can you imagine having to live with that? You put your own child in the fucking toilet? Nick says, no grace. Michigan has too many avenues for helping. Yeah, that's 100% true. They really do. They make it very easy. Just have the kid and say, here you go. I take this baby. Ugh, what a hideous fucking story. MSP, which is contracted to provide security for the festival, is investigating. Please tell police. Hideous, hideous story. Come on. Oh, the timing of that couldn't have been better. The Hulk Hogan Hulkster in Heaven song. Chris with this comment. 22-year-old girl, probably a hard-living line slut, probably doped up on Molly for the show. No grace. All right, we're going to find this out. We're going to find out who did it, and then we'll see if any of this applies. And we'll probably be able to assess just by taking a look at the person. Stevie says someone will come forward. She's suddenly not pregnant and there's no baby. Stevie says, wow, Chris, that's some imagination you have there. Unless if she was like hiding the pregnancy. That does happen. My God. All right. I want you to stay right there. I've got I'm going to take a break. And I'll be back in just a short bit here. Don't go anywhere, please. Okay, thanks for your patience. I appreciate that. Rebecca says, what are the odds it was a cryptic pregnancy and the baby lady didn't even know there was a fetus? And then they're tripping balls and they drop a kid in the porta potty. Yeah, that's entirely possible. What are the odds? I would say that they are slim. John, the psycho magician, says, I hope everybody is having a good day. You know, last time I talked to you, I think you've got some things going on that are really interesting. Are those developing? I forget what they were, but they were cool. Megan says, a cryptic pregnancy and no pain labor must be some good drugs. And then what about the umbilical cord? I mean, like when the baby is born, isn't that thing still hooked to the mom? Did it fall out and it was just like she's sitting there bare ass naked on the toilet, baby falls out and is hanging there like fucking Indiana Jones looking down at the snakes? I mean, don't you have to kind of cut the cord? Or could she have gotten up and pulled Indy up from there and then rather than, you know, I can't say for sure, but I don't know any Bread Bowl Brain Chris says, no, it's attached to the placenta. And the placenta comes out. Okay. Black Belt Nick says, we are all assuming she had it in the stall and not the chance that she took it to the festival and did it. Well, so that would, but the placenta and the umbilical cord were found in the porta toilet. So, I mean, that would stand to reason that it probably, she birthed the child in there. Because I can't picture her having the baby and then the baby is dead and then she packs up the placenta, the umbilical cord, and the baby and, you know, puts it in a backpack. But whatever. I have a series of sponsors that help make this show possible. I would love you all to bang on their door or patronize them. The first one, though, is like 100% free, and it's amazing. And I'll be there, and I want you to be there. The Tie-Dye Festival. It's an outdoor music festival. Thursday, August 20th to Saturday, August 22nd at Burley Park in Howard City, Michigan. Dozens of acts performing live. Tons of vendors selling their wares, you know, crafts, tie-dye T-shirts, hippie shit. Food trucks galore, or bring your own food and cook it out at your campsite. Free camping, free event to get in. It's just, I don't know how these fucking people do it, but they do it. And it's single-handedly the #1 festival in the Midwest. They actually have rankings for that. Every year, it's consistently the top festival. You know who's ahead of the curve on this? Amanda. Amanda has been going to this thing for years. I don't know if she's going to be at this one. If she is, there's a chance that she's going to let us sit around and watch her inject herself with trizepatide. Is that what it's called? Because she revealed on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast that she is throwing her hat in the ring and she is utilizing weight loss drugs, which That's great. I talked about this on my free clip of who are these free beers. Ben and I are theorizing that free beer is utilizing weight loss drugs because he's thinning out. He looks thinner. And so just something we pointed out. Anyway, there you go. That's all part of the Tie-Dye Festival. I just completely tangent. I went from Tie-Dye Festival to Amanda's fat and Amanda taking fat drugs to free beer taking fat drugs. And now I'm back to Tie-Dye Festival. I have no idea what's going on in my brain. Thank you to Frank Fuss. If you need health care, like you just got fired from a job, you are eligible to get health care through healthcare.gov. You don't need to wait till open enrollment. You can get it today. To do that, have Frank Fuss help you. Appointmentwithfrank.com. That's appointmentwithfrank.com for more info. His services are free. He's going to get you into a life insurance or a health insurance policy, and it's not nearly going to be the headache that you thought it was. Appointmentwithfrank.com. Last sponsor for the day, I swear. My friends at Kuiper Tree Care, thank you to them. They just signed up for another quarter of marketing. They've been with me for years. I'm so happy. Thank you. Go to KuiperTreeCare.com, Kuiper, treecare.com, 616-828-8225. That's 616-828-8225. Radio station in my neck of the woods. Jethro, 94.9 Jethro. I had lunch yesterday with a nice guy by the name of Scott Pasteur. He owns this radio station. His family's owned it for some time. He's done radio as a hobby. And now he's put all his eggs into the basket and he does it for a living. The radio station is unique in that if you are in West Michigan, there's two spots on the dial you can get it, 94.9 and 99.5. Each of these FM signals are called translators. They're low power. Like the Grand Rapids one, you would struggle to get it in certain parts of West Michigan. The 99.5 is just that, the Lowell area. But you can get it in if that's your thing. And also, if you are in the Kalamazoo area, same thing. You can get it on 105.1 and 98.9. These formats and everything about them originate on these AM signals, and then they kick that feed over to the FMs. I doubt anybody's even going to listen to the AMs, but they are there. Why am I bringing all this up? I am going to start working for them. I love this, working hard to be your third favorite radio station. So I sit down with a guy, and he goes, well, can you fill in for people when they're off? Like Dave Conrad, legendary country air personality. Like Conrad's going to be off in a couple of weeks. Can you do it? I go, I can't do it. But what I'd like to do, hang on a second. Let me get Pooh Bear on here. She has a question.
Hello.
Hey, I'm still podcasting, but I figured I'd call you.
Okay.
So do they have they have the original Roundup, and then there's one that you can put on grass. It's a different like container. You can put it on grass, and it won't kill the grass, but it'll kill the weeds.
Okay. I don't think they have that.
All right, they got the regular Roundup refill.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. If you could grab that, that'd be great.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you. Bye. So I'm talking to him about the radio station. He goes, yeah, we're underdogs. We position ourselves as that, and that's how we do it. So I'm talking to him about it. I go, don't sell yourself short. You know, what you do here has become intriguing to people like me and the Dave Conrads. And as I understand it, even Kevin Matthews has a hand in this because he loves the format. And I guess he did a couple shows Kevin did. And so now you've got Dave Conrad and Kevin Matthews on this radio station. And then I go, well, yeah, this is not that different than the radio station in northern Michigan when it comes to your business model, being that you're a local owner and, things like that. So I go, is there a way that I could, from my house, help you with various boring things that aren't interesting to you right now? Commercials, writing commercials, imaging the radio station, things like that. Arts and crafts, boring shit. And he goes, oh, God, yes. And I go, well, let's do that. And then he says, how much money do you want? I go, well, what do you think? And he goes, I don't want to embarrass you. I don't want to, not embarrass you. I don't want to insult you. I go, well, look, dude, I wasn't making any money at iHeart. So anything higher than minimum wage. And he just laughed. He couldn't believe it. I go, yeah, that's how shitty it was over there. Okay, so all I'm looking to do is avoid losing that money. And very generously offered me like $25 an hour. I go, that's double of what I made. So this is a much better situation for me. And so then all I'm going to do is, as a 1099, say, all right, I did 5 hours of work this week. Here you go. And then that's it. And then he says to me, if you fill in, I'll give you $100 a day. And I go, you have any idea how, that's a week's, so for a week's worth of work, $500, I would not make that in 2 months with iHeart. That's how shitty it had become. So it's ridiculous that making that little of money, they said, oh, boy, we got to cut you out. How desperate is that? And how exciting is it that just some local mom and pop radio station that doesn't even get ratings, he's able to do that? I mean, he has more live people on the air on that radio station than all of the iHeart radio stations combined. Think about that. If you listen to them, you got Conrad is on the air now. The Rowdy Ride Home with Rowdy Yates. They have sports shows that they put on there. My favorite, though, is the Polka Pops. Sunday from 12 to 3. So you get a lot of these community-based shows. You got a lot of Pollocks in West Michigan. In fact, dude who runs the ship, Scott there, he's a Pollock. I love our Pollocks. Here's the best, though. You look at the sponsors of these guys. If you were to head over to iHeart and say, hey, these are we're going to give you all these local sponsors, they would shit their pants. All of these look at Frank Fuss, My Policy Shop Insurance Agency. I voiced the commercial for that. I've been doing work for these guys for many years as a freelance voice on the radio station, but this is a more permanent thing. So I'm happy about that. I think there's a way you can listen live, but I don't, it might be here. I don't know. Let's see. Now playing. There you go. Kenny Rogers, Love Lifted Me. Hell yes. Nick says, just let radio die already. Well, yeah, that's true, but I'm not trying to, I don't necessarily want to do that, especially for a guy like this, local guy. I think there's a place for it, especially moms and pops and older people, and that's who this station is aimed at, 50 and up. But you got to understand, I am all about the bucket system. I don't give a shit how I do it. I just want to have all these buckets lined up and fill them fucking full of money. And then at the end of the day, I can go camp. That's it. And pay for vet bills. By the way, we've got a scene of, it looks like 3 dogs, a 3-puppy pile. O'Neill and Bruce are doing kind of like a yin and yang thing. And Darla is part of the pile as well. Kevin Kuiper says gym shorts. Absolutely gym shorts. Holy crap. Chris in Buffalo, can you do commercials for strip joints again? I don't know if you're going to hear too many strip joints on Jethro. I don't even know if there are any strip joints. I think the closest strip joint is like in Kalamazoo. Anyway, that's what happened. He's a great guy. I'm excited. I'm re-energized, and I am working for them. I got the job. I go, so that's it. I got the job. Yeah, you got the job. It's another 1099 job, which is most of my jobs. In fact, do I have anything that's not a 1099 job? Well, the podcast is not a 1099 job. I actually have payroll. There's only one guy that works for the company, but I actually have it set up with ADP where, as it's boring, but it's the show is what's known as an S corp. Some of you know what that means, but I actually get a paycheck. It's so ridiculous. I get a paycheck from me, made out to me, with taxes taken out of it and everything. It's fucking fantastic. All right. What else do I have here for you? It's been kind of like a weird day for content. I apologize for the scattershot focus today, but it's kind of like that. It happens. It isn't often that a food recall hits the Food and Drug Administration's highest risk level. The highest risk level is a Class 1 recall, which means there is a reasonable probability that being exposed to a particular food will cause at least serious adverse health consequences or death. Like, those are the only outcomes. Reasonable probability. So if somebody gave you something to eat and said, you can eat this, but there is reasonable probability that you will get very, very ill or die. That food product is out there right now. And it's a food product that everybody loves and everybody eats. Made from the most consumed cash crop in the United States, I think. It's either this one or corn. What could it possibly be? I've given you all the clues here. What is the cash crop I'm talking about? What is the food product I'm talking about? I've given you so much information. Do you have the ability to piece this together and tell me what the potato? Yes. Bread Bowl Brain Chris says, is it key lime cheesecake? Excellent reference. No, potato chips. What? 2 months ago, there was a voluntary recall of certain varieties of potato chips. Now, I have not heard of these two brands. They're made, I have heard of the company, the parent company, Utz, though. Do you have any Zapp's potato chips? Limited varieties of Zapp's and Dirty brand potato chips. Okay, there's an image of the bag. If you have that, get rid of that shit. Here's the specifics. A lot of small bags. 1.5 ounce Zapp's brand Bayou blackened ranch potato chips. That's the one I was just showing you. 1.5 ounces. That's like the size of the snack size ones. Different sizes of those. Avoid all those blackened ranch potato chips. Avoid the dirty salt and vinegar. Dirty brand salt and vinegar. Also, the dirty brand Maui onion. And just throw them. If you got a Zapp's or a dirty brand, just pitch them all. Salmonella. I didn't realize that salmonella is something that I thought that was just like chicken. Isn't that the big thing? You know, you undercook chicken and you could get salmonella poisoning. Serious, sometimes fatal infections in young kids, elderly people, and others with weakened immune systems. How does that happen that you get salmonella? I guess that's a thing in potatoes. Potatoes. On another big load of potatoes. So be on the lookout. If you got those, pitch it. God, there's a brand of chips that I can't get enough of. These Traverse City Cherry brand. God, Red Kettle. Fucking not Red Kettle. Kettle corn? No. Red Kettle, that's Salvation Army. Something to do with kettles. Watch out for that. Okay. I've mentioned this before. That, by the way, before I do anything else, hats off to Megan. Because Megan at Irvine's, because her and the crew over there did a fun Photoshop with these two folks that climbed to the top of that tower. And the banner that they're unfurling is an Irvine's flag. I like the new slug line, Raising the Standard. Your color scheme is fantastic. Black, white, emerald green like that. Looks great. Can you get that on a shirt for me? I'd love that. But I have talked about the local Bosnians that are around here. It's a hell of a population. Now, this is a watch party that I would have loved to have been at for the USA taking on Bosnia. Because all the local Bosnians got together here in West Michigan. And they had a damn party. And I wonder if they played that song that we've been playing, I Am from Bosnia, Take Me to America.
It continued on Wednesday with Team USA taking on Bosnia-Herzegovina. And here in my Kentwood neighborhood, the Bosnian president is alive and well as neighbors cheered on their home country.
Is this guy Bosnian?
At a watch party. There were no chants of USA in this crowd here at Mahala Cafe Bar in my Kentwood neighborhood.
Okay, this place, Mahala Cafe Bar, I'm glad that it's there because this was the place that Ben Glaze did that open mic and the Bosnian mob was there. True story. They were having a Sopranos-like sit-down that they used to have out in front of Satrial's.
Bar in my Kentwood neighborhood, they were
over in this area right here. Ben was on stage here. I was here at the bar, and they were doing a Satrial style sit down and smoking cigars indoors inside of this place. And we are 1,000,000% convinced that Mahala's Cafe Bar is in fact a money laundering front.
Cheering for the other side of the pitch in their home country of Bosnia-Herzegovina.
This is insane for us. This is crazy.
It's going to be people screaming here, cheering, screaming or cheering.
And for those like Elmadin Zukic, a Bosnian-born neighbor who's lived in Kentwood for 30 years now, says this moment is special for him.
Feeling excitement, pride, joy, seeing Bosnia play in the World Cup is more just a match for us.
And creates a sense of pride for the Bosnian community across the country and right here in Kentwood.
Well, we've gone through, going through war and genocide, it's like I said, the attitude never give up.
I want to hear them talk about organized
crime. For a small country
crime.
to be able to, on this bigger stage, it's nothing but pride and joy.
Wednesday's game also
okay, so these
bittersweet
guys
for
here,
Elmadin.
That's what these two are doing. They're talking about a contract killing.
Who just touched down in the U.S. from Bosnia after his father passed away last week from a heart attack.
I know every shot, every chance, every cheer is going to be a reminder of, what I lost, and also, the sense of pride that he sacrificed to bring me here.
This guy is doing a great job making it seem like he's not in organized crime. He seems like he's awesome,
For Ayub, born and raised right here in Kentwood, not letting this moment pass by him.
To watch them in America against America
Assassin right here
is amazing to me. It's a country that's given me a lot, to a country that I'm from that means a lot.
It's giving you racketeering, money laundering, prostitution, drug trafficking, and robbery.
To me as well, so it's a beautiful moment.
And in the end, it's all about enjoying the game they love to see.
It's every 4 years. We get to see our two home countries play each other. Doesn't get any better than that.
While it wasn't the result Bosnian fans wanted, they're still proud of their team and country's performance in this year's World Cup. I'm Walid Al-Amla, your Kentwood reporter, Fox 17 News.
Yeah, I think this guy, he might be Bosnian or I don't know, maybe something. Walid Al-Am, he might be Arab. I have no idea. Doesn't matter. Tyler says, heart attack. I'm guessing the mob had him whacked. Cole says, I love watching the videos of all the foreigners in Buc-ee's and Bass Pro Shops. Man Bun Chris says, didn't Ben bomb too? Yeah. Ben always bombs. I have never watched Ben where he hadn't bombed. Are you kidding me? Everybody at those shows bombs. You have open mic nights at mafia money laundering places for everybody who bombs. That was the time where they had the other loser up there who bombed, who he did a whole 5-minute bit about how fat his wife is and how ugly his wife is. But she was right in the front row, and he called her out. It was so incredibly awkward. It was one of the most awkward things I've ever experienced in my life. And his jokes weren't funny. They were just horrible insults about this fat chick. And she's got a look on her face like, and you could tell it was hurting her. It was hurting her feelings badly. We're all like, God damn. We all wanted to kick his ass. It was horrific. I would have rather seen Baby in the Toilet than that. So bad. Ugh. Jesus. All right. We are moments away. Well, we're going to do it right now. We got the asshole of the day. And I would love you to contribute. Who could we have as a nominee? We could talk about something related with Free Beer and Hot Wings. Might have something to do with it. That whole group was just out of their minds. I couldn't believe it. In fact, that's the clubhouse favorite. It's got to be for asshole of the day. Yesterday it was ALS. I think it's between the Free Beer and Hot Wings show and the woman who killed her baby. But not all the information is out. I mean, we don't know if the baby deserved it or not. These are all things that could come out later in the news. So, I mean, not that it would be often that a child, a newborn baby, would actually deserve to be unalived, but I don't know. I can't say for sure. I don't have that information. So we'll hold out on that and just say that the entire Free Beer and Hot Wings show for that ridiculous childlike rant against what I suspect is a special needs mental patient. You are the assholes of the day. That's horrible. You're worse than a woman who unalived a child. Horrific. Okay, that's my time. Sorry for the short show. And I have an issue today because I have to attend a funeral. A loved one's mother passed away, and I've not met mom, but the loved one is very close to our family. And There's no way I can get, because the funeral's far away too. I'm going to post something to listen to while I'm away on Patreon. And I'll also, of course, post my Ben and Eric show from yesterday. Because, the time is just not working out. So that's just a show note for you for Patreon members, if you're wondering what is going on. But otherwise, and by the way, it's horrific because we just talked about Chris Johnson from that great NFL football player who has ALS. This nice lady who passed away, she had ALS. And it's just a heartbreaker. So there you go. That's what's up. And I'll talk to you folks. Thank you so much. Till next time. Bye-bye.